Hello, cosmic beings. Welcome to Being Cosmic. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I am so glad that each and every one of you are here. My name is Devon, and I will be doing a collective message today. So, with that, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. All right. So, this is yet again another divine masculine reading. It's really funny. I was actually telling my spirit team, the divine etc., that I didn't want to just focus on divine masculine readings, and that I was like, okay, I feel like I've done enough for now. I'm going to pull back and open up for some different kinds of readings. And then it came through of like, yeah, but these messages want to come through you right now. So I'm listening. Um, so here we go. Here's another one. Um, that being said, I probably will start doing like extra messages, so that there's a divine masculine message and then one more for the general collective. So it's likely I might be dropping 2 videos a day for the next little bit, as long as these masculine messages want to come through super heavy. That was the other thing too that I was also kind of shown is that these masculine messages are coming through so much right now because it's I don't know how to word it. How do I put that in words? Because there's something significant in the energy. So if you're watching this, even at a later time and not necessarily when I post it, there's something in the energy that is really, really in alignment for you to pursue your feminine. And then I'm also being told, if you've got like, if you're feeling a lot of pressure because you want to go towards your feminine and then it's just this overwhelming energy of how would we get from here to there, or something like that, where it's just like kind of overwhelming, and then there's a part of you that wants to just rush into this, and then there's a part of you that wants to kind of take it slow. um this is something where in these connections, the feminine is going to help determine the timing of it. So what I'm kind of seeing is you might go rushing in, and then your feminine might kind of be like, okay, I'm I just heard I'm game. Like I'm down for this, but let's kind of ease into it. So if that's kind of something that's been stressing you out a little bit, I feel like you don't have anything to worry about because it's going to unfold in a natural progression. It's not something where you're just going to rush in and it's going to be super fast, and like there's going to be a little bit of a whirlwind feel when this happens just because of the energy, but I don't feel like it's something that you have to worry about where you take it really, really fast and then in 6 months you're kind of like, "Oh." I feel like it's gonna naturally progress, in the timing, in the, um can we say that? In a timing that is right for this connection. There's divine timing still at play. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. What does the masculine need to hear? Okay, we've got releasing. So it's letting go, moving on, and walking away. And I feel like you're releasing things that no longer serve, which makes sense because that's been coming through pretty frequently in these readings. And then we've also got beauty. And I feel like this is how you view your feminine is like charming, graceful, kind-hearted. Um, and there's just a sense of like alluring beauty. And then there's also something of maybe letting go of the way that you used to view things. Maybe you didn't see the beauty in everything. And your feminine is helping you to rediscover the beauty that surrounds you all the time, just in life and nature, and of course with your feminine. And then we've got obsession. Okay, what I've heard is there's a part of you that might think that this is just obsession, and that is not the case. There's more going on here. Um, What else? Okay, my nose is doing the thing. So when that happens, it's like my nose will run in a specific way. I know that sounds weird, but when it happens in these readings like this, it's because there's communication that is that wants to flow through, but it's being blocked. And so I feel like there's something that you wanna communicate, and I do feel like your feminine wants to communicate with you too, but I'm being brought back to the visualization that I saw last night when I was doing, a divine masculine reading, where it's like a prop door, and you can kind of see it, like, from the outside, and then there's your feminine on this side, you are on this side being the masculine, and it's like you guys are right there. Um, how did that go into this? What the hell was I talking about? I just totally lost it. Anyways, if that visual, resonates with you and you didn't catch the last message, it's gonna be the one that I posted right before this one. So it might pop up at the end as like a suggestion. That one was called Messages from Your Feminine, and I actually channeled the divine feminine um energy and like pulled through a few direct messages for you. So if you're feeling called to that, definitely check that reading out. Okay. We've got Only You. Oh, that's what it was. Your feminine is feeling the same for you as you are for them. That's where that door imagery came in. So the amount of feelings that you have for your feminine is feeling for you as well. And they want to talk to you just as much as you want to talk to them. It's just that the feminine's being guided to wait for you to open the door. That's the nature of these connections sometimes, and that's really a huge part of this dynamic right now. Um, and then I heard for some of you, your feminine extended you a lifeline, so maybe your feminine did reach out to you at some point. Um, and that was kind of like a little nudge just to let you know, like, I'm here when you're ready. And then we've got fantasy, and so that's talking about daydreaming, fantasizing. So you could be fantasizing about like a life together, is what I just heard. You could be romanticizing and not romanticizing in the way of like looking at it better than it is. It's more of that really getting lost in some of those daydreams about what life could look like with you two together, how good life can be. And you're being given some of those visions for a reason. So oftentimes when we're on this journey, we'll get kind of insights or different visions of potentials because that's what's in alignment and that is what is possible. Um, and then I'm also hearing this isn't just a fantasy. So if that's something that you're concerned with, the message here is to let you know it's not just a fantasy. This is really going on. Um, yeah, and with this Only You card, I'm feeling like this is mutual. So for you, you're feeling like only this person can match you or see you fully, or it, it's like that perfect match energy, and the feminine feels the same way. And so there is something, and that makes sense because it's a soul connection, it's soul alignment. And so there are things that maybe were struggles in past relationships that just wouldn't be prevalent in this relationship. It's one of those. Okay, it's one of those things, like, let's say in previous relationships you had a hot temper. This relationship will pull out a different dynamic. This is a relationship that this person isn't going to trigger you in the same way. Not saying that this person's not going to trigger you, because that's, probably going to happen, but it's going to be in a different way. So it's going to be an invitation into further growth versus continuously triggering until you learn that lesson and walk away. So it's coming from a different place, and so it's going to be a different experience. And then we've got boundaries. I don't know what that's talking about. What's going on with boundaries, spirit? I feel like you both have healthy boundaries. Um, yeah. Oh. Hmm. Okay. So we've got a lot. Give me just a second. Okay. All right. So we've got trapped. Maybe there's an element of you feeling trapped in your life in some way. And on this on this card, the imagery is of a spider web with like dewdrops on it. And on the side over here, it's like the web is missing. And I feel like what this is coming through to let you know is you've cleared a lot of these attachments that were keeping you trapped. And you actually aren't as trapped in your situation or your life as it may feel or seem right now. It's kind of this energy of it may look like you're trapped, but the thing is it's especially if you're experiencing a bunch of roadblocks when it comes to other things in life, it's because your spirit team, your higher self, the divine, is pushing you to walk through this door. And so it's like when you're looking over here and you're like, well, maybe I'll just go this way. And then all of a sudden a wall drops and there's, obstacle or a roadblock. And then it's like, okay, so that's a no. Okay, maybe I'll go over here. And then you find another roadblock. It's because your higher self is really guiding you to walk through this door. And so it's one of those, yeah, yeah, I feel like it's one of these things where because you're both in alignment for each other right now, you're really being pushed and guided to walk through that door. But it takes you as your human self consciously making that choice to walk through that door. And so that's why you're probably getting signs and synchronicities. You're probably dreaming about this person a lot, maybe seeing their face in other people, and you have to take a second glance and realize that's actually not your feminine. Hearing their name, hearing songs, like song synchronicities are big in this connection. You're being blasted with all of this right now because you're being guided to walk through that door and just see, because the thing is if you walk through that door and you're ready and your feminine's ready, like the energy that you're both embodying is energetically in alignment to take this next leap together. And even if you start off as friends and then it evolves into something more, that's available right now. And so you're kind of being pushed into this because if your human selves both choose, which I feel like both of you really want to, if your human selves really do choose to pick this up and to go for this, both of you are going to just be so thankful that you took that chance. And so that's why you're being pushed so hard right now. That's why there's roadblocks coming up where maybe they didn't come up before. That's why you're probably feeling like this sense of urgency and then also a sense of discomfort just in life in general, and it's because you're being pushed on this path. There were things you did. Okay, so I'm picking up that you went through an awakening, um, of sorts. And in some of you, it may have been a full-blown spiritual awakening that follows like some of the more typical steps where it was just one day it's just like the glasses came off and you just started seeing things in a very different way, coming into different truths and understandings because you chose to really kind of discover and explore that path. You made the choice enough at the conscience level to walk this path. And now you're being pushed and pushed because this is the soul led path. This is the path that when you walk on it, miracles happen. things that seem like magic happen. And then, you get to keep discovering how magical you are. And and that's in the sense of like being a conscious creator of your reality and stuff like that. So it's also, there is science to back this up. It's just it's a little hidden and buried. Because yeah, and say a bunch of us waking up to our true power and potential is very problematic for the systems that be leave it there. But, here we are and we're doing it anyways. Um so yeah, so you're really being pushed on this path and kind of it's almost like you found yourself so I'm kind of being shown like another expansion of this vision with the door. So it's like you went through this awakening and then all of a sudden some of the fog started to lift and it was like you saw your feminine standing in the distance. And you're like, "What? Wait a minute. No way." And then, you just kept walking the path and doing certain things. And then now all of a sudden it's like the fog lifted and you're standing at this door. And maybe you can kind of see through the door a little bit and you can see your feminine, or you just know that your feminine's on the other side of it. And you just get to open the door and walk through if that's what you want. And I feel like because these messages are coming through so heavily right now, this is something you do want, and you're just getting some extra oomph and some extra pushes from the divine through these readings. So happy to be of service to give you some little nudges. Give me just a minute. I have to plug in my camera. All right. So, the next little set of cards that came out, we've got pain, clarity, and family. And what I feel like this is saying is you've recently gotten clarity from some painful dynamics from your family of origin, is what I'm picking up. Um, and so that could be something that you're still processing. I do feel like your heart chakra is open though. And so I do want to kind of mention a little bit about that. When your heart chakra is really open, you'll feel like these waves of energy in your heart space. Sometimes you'll feel your heart kind of like flutter, or all of a sudden it beats really fast and it just feels like you've got like pressure or a lot of energy in your heart. That being said, if you're feeling discomfort in any way, definitely get that checked out by a medical professional. I'm not offering medical advice. From an energy standpoint, when we go through these big openings or these big activations in our energy centers in the chakras, it can feel like a flood of energy. And then, like the solar plexus, as an example, when that activates or when you have a clearing, sometimes you can get like stomach bug symptoms. Um, so again, if you're concerned with your health, definitely check with medical professional. From an energy standpoint, though, that can be what's happening. And you can also feel it in your back as well. So it can be like just in your heart space, or you can kind of feel tension or pressure in your back. Okay. Um, okay, then when I laid these cards down, the pain card went over the trapped card. And maybe what you're realizing is kind of looking at your life and seeing how much these dynamics that were unconscious kept you trapped in your life in certain ways. And so that could be part of what you're kind of realizing and clearing right now. And it came out on the boundaries card. So maybe you're working on boundaries when it comes to family members or friends or something like that. Which good job. Huzzah. Okay. And then we've got apology and conflict. And so, what I feel like this is talking about is there's something that you want to apologize for. And maybe it was for a past conflict, or it could be that you're worried that there's going to be conflict when you apologize. And the kind of the image that I'm seeing is it's probably gonna be a mutual thing. I feel like there's stuff that you both are going to apologize for. It's this energy where you're gonna apologize for your part, they're gonna apologize for their part, and it's gonna be like water under the bridge. It's not gonna be this big drawn out thing, this big, "Why did you do this? Why didn't you do that?" Um And, it's not gonna be that type of a dynamic. That's not what I'm seeing anyways. So take that as it resonates. Um, and then we've got one day, and it kind of came out sideways. And again, I heard one day is today. And so this one day energy of like maybe one day I could be with this person. Maybe one day we could figure it out and make it work. That energy of one day is here now. So it's like this energy of, well, maybe one day. It's here now for you. Okay. What else? Nose is running like crazy, so there's definitely communication that wants to be had when it comes to this situation. Okay. All right. So we've got escaping and separation. And what I feel like this is talking about is or distance, but it says separation down here. So maybe you live at a distance with this person right now. But what I'm really picking up is that there was this energy. So for some of you, if you were in a relationship with this person and then you went into separation, I feel like there was this energy. I'm kind of being shown or reminded of a situation where maybe once this separation occurred, there was physical distance put in between you and this person. And it was to assist your healing, basically. There was because of the energy of the situation, and I'm picking up kind of an immaturity. So maybe this was when you were a lot younger, or maybe it was just when you were emotionally younger. Maybe you didn't, you hadn't gone through the healing and the awareness and the clarity or the awakening, whatever it is. There was distance put in between you and this person, either literally or metaphorically, so that you could go into your own little bubbles and experience life and heal and get into a different energy where now it's sustainable. Now you've both learned enough, you've both experienced enough that this distance I just heard this distance is closing. So it's like you two are coming back together. You're magnetizing back together because the time is now for this. Um, and then we've got ecstasy. So chasing thrills, excitement, and a good time. And so maybe that was part of what caused this initial distance. Maybe it was wanting to experience other people or different situations. Maybe there was just an element of not being ready for the level of commitment this connection requires, because this isn't a connection where you can just be, you know, kind of one foot in, one foot out. That's not how these connections work. It's got to be both people, both feet in. And I feel like you're both ready for that now. And maybe you weren't in the past because you were in this energy of like chasing thrills and wanting to experience the party lifestyle or, whatever, take it as it resonates. But I also feel with this card, what this is saying is what you were chasing in the past, I feel like you realized wasn't really what you want long term. And now the energy of this ecstasy is something that you can see with this person. It's this energy of like, in the past, maybe you wanted to be with, different people or just kind of, play around, not have anything really serious. And then that was your idea of a good time. Nothing super committal, something like that. And then now your idea of this thrilling energy, this good time energy is having your roller coaster buddy and having that life buddy that is there with you and tackling life together with you and just enjoying life together. Um, okay. And then we've got karma. And what I'm picking up is that you both went into this period of separation, or you haven't fully been able to anchor this relationship into the physical world because there was karmic stuff. that needed to be cleared on both ends before you could come together and really s- like stay together. Yeah. And then we've got conflicted. Um, hmm, is this the energy they're in now? Okay, I read multiple choices, and what I kind of heard was there may be a part of you that's concerned that your feminine has multiple choices. If that's the case, what I feel like you're being called to do is to allow yourself to know and stand in that confidence of if you're looking at this person as though they're your perfect match, that's how your person is looking at you as well. So even I feel like you both have multiple choices. I feel like you both are um like good looking people. Um and you both have a lot to offer. And so you both have lots of choices when it comes to partnership. But this is like the ultimate choice for both of you. And so if you're feeling that way about your feminine, just know that your feminine is feeling that way about you. Um, what else? And I do feel like there was a lot that that's a lot of cards. I feel like there's a lot that you both didn't say to each other. This is kind of that energy of you both it was more like you both felt it, but it wasn't as spoken. Maybe one of you spoke about it and verbalized it more than the other person, but it was like you both felt it. Um, and maybe that's part of this too. Maybe there's part of this, maybe you didn't express how you truly felt about this person, and that's something that you want to come forth and apologize for and just let this person know, like, you know, it was only you. That's what I heard. I don't know where that card went. But, it was, it was mutually felt and experienced, even if it wasn't fully verbalized. And then we've got sorrow, and it fell on only you, beauty, fantasy, and then releasing. And what I feel like is by releasing this person, it caused a lot of sorrow. And there's a reason that you're being shown all of this right now. There's a reason that you're seeing this from a different light. Maybe it was one of those situations where both of you viewed it in a way of like, well, it just wasn't meant to be, or maybe in a different life, or something like that. And the message is it is still here for you. And there was, however much time has passed, that time was necessary for both of you to experience certain things and heal certain things and come into clarity about certain things, kind of, go through the awakening process, so on and so forth. So there was a lot that you both accomplished on your own in this separation phase. And now you're both ready to come together and do life together. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be like do your best not to put a whole lot of pressure on yourself for it. If it is something that you're deeply desiring, it's something you really, really want, then allow yourself to follow the guidance that's coming through and to just kind of take that chance and see. But again, you don't have to just like, you know, run in and the first time you see this person again, you're, proposing. It doesn't have to be that kind of an energy. It can be just reaching out, talking, catching up, and then maybe having, a really heartfelt conversation where you rehash whatever happened in the past and come to terms with it, and then you move forward from there. Okay. And then we've got breaking point. And I feel like that is where you're at right now. I feel like you are being put into this point where you're at a breaking point of you can either do this or not. And heard I just heard your feminine's not gonna wait forever. And so it's one of these things where, you know, be mindful not to rush it prematurely, listen to your guidance, and so on and so forth. But when the time is right and you're really being nudged, which I feel like if you're watching this, you've been being nudged to communicate for a while now, and you're being pushed so hard to communicate because it's almost like it's almost like you're both in this kind of like holding pattern, like this divine holding pattern where there's not a whole lot that's how do I explain this? It's like you're both waiting energetically to see if this communication happens. And so there's like a period of time that you're being given right now. And it's one of these things where if you choose to open that door, then you're going to be guided on how to move forward with your person. If you choose to turn around and walk away, then you're going to be guided on how to navigate that. And then your feminine will be guided on how to navigate that. Um, so it's kind of this energy of like you're both being held in this kind of divine holding pattern almost, and not really being guided to do certain things, make, big actions in like being guided to take big actions in certain ways because there's the potential for this to happen, and if this happens it's going to change some of these things, and you're going to be working on it together. If you choose not to go through that door, then you're both going to be guided on how to accomplish the things you want to accomplish without each other, if that makes sense. Um, and then we've got commitment, which is funny because I was talking about proposing. I feel like this is what you want with your person, and I do feel like your person wants this with you as well. So whatever commitment looks like to you, whether that's just long-term commitment where you're just, each other's life partners, whether it's actual marriage, take it as it resonates. But I do feel like you both want the same level of commitment with each other, and that's something that has recently changed in this dynamic. And that's part of why you're being pushed so hard as well, is because I feel like you're feminine and you have both more or less chosen that if this is possible, this is what you want above all else. And so now it's like, okay, you both want this. You're both there at the door. Masculine, are you going to open it? And then we've got finality. And this is really okay. I saw closure, and I feel like a part of this is going to be closure for you, and your person. And then there's also the element of being able to fully leave behind kind of your old life if that is what you choose to do. And then we've got confessions. And I feel like this is part of what you are being guided to communicate with your person. It's like confessing, maybe it's confessing about some past things that you're not overly proud of. And maybe it's confessing true feelings, where you see things going from here, something like that. What I do want to say, if there is something that you experienced or partook in, hmm, partook. Anyways, um, if it's something that you were partaking in that you're not proud of, I feel like this is the type of person where you could tell them anything and they would be able to have the understanding and the clarity on why you may have done or partook in certain things. And so if you're worried, like, okay, if I go to this person and tell them exactly what I feel and what I would like with them, once they find out about this thing in my past or that thing in my past, that's going to be a non negotiable. And what's coming up right now is your person has a level of clarity and awareness where they can see things from different perspectives. And so even if you partook New word of the day. Um, Even if you engaged in certain behaviors or dynamics or something like that that were, something that you're just not proud of, this person isn't going to judge you for it. It's not like, and I don't feel like it's going to be a non-negotiable because this person has the awareness of how this connection pulls out different sides of each other. It's one of those things, this connection isn't going to pull out a lot of those super toxic karmic dynamics because that's not the nature of this relationship. If there is a trigger of some sort, it's again that invitation to go within and to heal that thing, but it's not going to be a situation where like you guys feed off of each other and push each other to get into, really unhealthy patterns. That's not what I'm picking up. So take that as it resonates. There is also pride, and I'm seeing ego and stubborn. And I do feel like there's a level of stubbornness with you and this person, which is kind of funny. But there's an element of stubbornness that is here. Um, but I'm really picking up kind of this ego energy. And so maybe there's a part of you that is not fully wanting to go for this person right now because you're going to have to drop your pride. You're going to have to drop that ego and to be open, honest, and vulnerable with this person. There's no way around it. And so that could be part of what's kind of got you in your head a little bit right now about this as well. And if that's the case, um, I mean, again, it's your life, your choice. I would just recommend to do your best to kind of drop this ego and this pride. And I'm being shown that this person is going to naturally help you do that. And you will naturally help them do this as well. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? Maybe, maybe. Okay. All right. We've got Okay, we've got spying. So maybe one or both of you are looking at each other's social media or something like that. I'm not picking up a malicious energy, I'm picking up a curious energy where one or both of you are looking at each other with that curious energy of like, who are you now? What are you up to now? Maybe trying to figure out, is who you are now compatible with who I am now? Something like that. So that's just gonna be extra confirmation for you. And then we've got soulmates. And so this is definitely a soulmate connection. There's a very deep, deep love here between you and this person, and it is a soul connection. And so that's why you're feeling it the way you're feeling it and experiencing what you're experiencing is because this is a matter of the soul. And then we've got resistance. And on here it says secret admirer, which is interesting. So maybe one or both of you are secretly admiring the other. Um, there could also be an element of still suppressing some of what this is, and you're being shown so much in getting clarity on the situation right now to help you shift out of this resistant energy. And there is an element of action that you're being asked to take that's going to really help you pull out of this resistance energy. Maybe you're resisting taking action. Just heard that one. Um, so which would explain why it kind of came up when like your person's not going to wait forever is because maybe you're sitting in this resistance energy and not allowing yourself to move forward even though you're getting all the signs and synchronicities to let you know that it is okay to reach out. It is okay. The time is right for this if this is what you choose. More for that one. Okay, and then we've got thinking. And there's missing you on here, craving and desiring. And I feel like this is something that you both are doing with each other. You both are definitely thinking of each other. You're probably having some sort of telepathic communication. You could even be experiencing I don't know what it's called, but it's like telepathic touch. It's really weird. But like maybe you're just kind of doing your thing and all of a sudden you feel like you got kissed on the lips or like a hand went up or down your back or like on your knee or something like that. That is something that happens as well, which is just a wild experience to have. So maybe you're having some of those experiences. For some of you, what I just heard, there's a part of, okay, take this if it resonates. This is going to be for a select few of you. If this type of thing was happening a lot and then it quieted down, and then that's what sparked this worry of, maybe it's not real, maybe the time isn't right, so on and so forth. What can happen is we'll be given all these, and this happens like in the normal awakening process as well. So you'll be given all these signs and synchronicities, all these messages. It's clear as day, it's in your face. No matter where you look, you're seeing a rainbow, you're seeing number synchronicities, you're seeing an animal that has a certain meaning. You're hearing stuff through songs, you're seeing somebody's name, you're dreaming of them, and then all of a sudden it stops. And what often happens, what that means when it happens, when it completely stops, is you as your human self are in alignment enough to take action, to listen to your own intuition. And so ultimately that's the goal, is to get to a point where you're not relying, because those are still external forms of confirmation. And so sometimes when it completely stops is because you have the level of awareness within to get that guidance from within. And if it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm going to use this as an example. Should I reach out? Is it time to reach out? And you're getting yeses all the time and then all of a sudden it stops. That can be because your divine team is like, we've given you enough, now it's time for you to do this or not. Um, and it's kind of an invitation for you to really go within and get that confirmation from within instead of externally all the time. And so that can be, especially when you kind of start relying on it, on that external confirmation, that's when it can get quiet sometimes because you're being asked to go more within and listen and, get the confirmation and stuff with your own abilities, and instead of needing it to be external. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? We've got the divine masculine card and distracted. Okay. We've got divine masculine and distracted. So maybe you've been distracting yourself lately. Maybe you've been not really sitting with yourself or allowing yourself to feel the guidance coming through, or maybe you're watching stuff all the time, listening to stuff all the time, and not kind of finding your, like, making that space to where you can listen to yourself, listen to your guidance, things like that. And that could be part of what's coming through here, is to let you know that this distraction energy is inhibiting your ability to fully pull into this divine masculine energy. Um, but this is also confirmation for me that you are indeed a divine masculine. And then we got the twin flame card. So take that as it resonates, but we've got soulmates and twin flames. So whichever journey you resonate with, this is confirmation that this is definitely a soul connection. Um, which is awesome. And then we've got loyalty. And there is this element of loyalty that you both have to each other. Um, and that's only going to grow if and when you communicate with this person. This is an energy where you will both be completely loyal to each other. Infidelity, things like that, I don't feel like are going to be a concern at all for either of you. Because this is just it's a very, very loyal energy. So yeah, yeah. All right. See if anything else wants to come out. This is a beautiful energy, by the way. I just gotta say that. And then we've got rejection. And I feel like this is saying that a part of what has been stopping you from taking this leap is the fear of rejection. Um, yeah. Yeah. And I don't feel like you have anything to worry about. I understand like the thought process and why those thoughts are coming up. I don't feel like you really have anything to worry about when it comes to this energy. I'm not picking up that this is a situation where you would go communicate with this person and they'd be like, thank you next. Like I'm not picking up that energy at all. I'm picking up a very reciprocal energy. How you feel about this person is how they feel about you, more or less. Like it's very much mirrored, which we've got the twin flame card out. So that definitely goes with that. All right. Being called to pull from this deck really quick, and then we're going to close it out. All right. So I paused it to get a drink really quick. And right before I started this reading, I was like, hey, can we make this a quicker one today? And then I looked and we're like over 40 minutes. Time does a weird thing when I'm in this channeled state. But it's just funny because I was asking to do a quicker reading. And here we are at, 40 something minutes. And I just want to say thank you because this energy gives me hope as well, like tapping into this energy. Because when you're on this journey, it can be it's such this like emotional roller coaster, but it's sometimes you'll feel really, really close to your person energetically, and then all of a sudden you'll feel like there's a lot more distance between you and that person energetically. And then the mind wants to like come up with all the reasons why that's happening. And so I just want to say thank you because being in this energy is really it's really nice, it's really hopeful, it's really exciting, and so I hope that you kind of get the same energy from it as well, um, giving you that extra little nudge. We've got the Magician in the mirror, and this is really talking about that mirroring energy, and I really do feel like you and this person are mirroring each other a lot, um, and I'm hearing divine mirror, so this is definitely that connection that you are each other's divine mirror. And there's financial constraints again. And so yeah, that could be a factor as well, is worrying that your finances aren't where you would like them to be. But it's one of those things where it's going to shift once you take this leap. Or once you decide that this isn't what you want and you ask for a different path to be illuminated to you. Okay, so surprise, surprise, slight interruption. It's all good. It happens. We're talking about catching leprechauns. It's St. Patty's Day. So anyhow, um, okay, the broken heart card came out right before I paused it. And what I'm picking up is that I feel like you're in this energy and I heard back in this energy and there's something where this if you're brokenhearted over this situation, by you allowing yourself to communicate, it's going to really help to fully heal what's going on when it comes to you and this person. So I feel like you've done pretty much what you can do on your own when it comes to this. And at this point, the final healing is going to come when you come back into contact with this person and clear the air. There's a lot of like clearing the air energy that's coming up. Okay. See if we can get another card or two, and then I'm going to go ahead and close it. We've got appreciation. And it flipped out kind of in reverse. And so what I feel like this is coming through to let you know is it's really recommended to do what you can to pull back into this energy of gratitude and to be thankful for the journey, be thankful for life, be thankful for the sun in the sky, for running water, those little things. And that's going to help you to shift out of this brokenhearted energy as well. And this will also help you shift out of this financial constraints energy as well. This isn't talking about spiritual bypassing where you're not facing the blah that, life can bring at times. It's really about allowing yourself to process the pain and everything else that comes up and then choose to look at what's going right. And this is difficult, like especially if you're, following some of the content on what's going on in the world right now. It is difficult to get into this energy, but the more you do it, the easier it is. It's kind of that snowball effect. And so there is something where you pulling into this appreciation energy, this is going to help you as well. And when I feel like if you choose to take this leap and communicate with your feminine, that's going to also help both of you to really embody this gratitude appreciation energy just a lot easier. It's that kind of thing where it feels like life is good again. Like life can be everything that you once thought it could be. And then we've got patience and the temple path. And with the patience card, I'm picking up that for some of you, it's been a really long time since you communicated with this person. And that might be part of what's stopping you. If so, just know that that's a human perspective construct. The timing is right now for a reason. It's because you both are energetically in alignment now. And I feel like there was a period of time where neither of you were really in alignment with each other, but now you are. And so that's why you're being guided so much to reach out to this person. It's yeah. And then we've got the temple path. So this is really just talking about staying committed to this path of alignment, of living your soul calling, your soul purpose, getting in touch with that part of yourself. And there is definitely something with this person that's in alignment with your soul's path. And that's another part of why this is coming up so much right now, is because both of you are at this point where if you two come together and work together on life, it's just going to unlock so many doors for you. And then on the bottom of the on the bottom of the deck, we've got man holding a heart. So this is you holding your heart for this person. Um, yeah, and I feel like you fully realized that this person has your heart in a way, and you have theirs, whether you fully know it or not. You have theirs as well. And then the next card under that is the yin yang card, which is my other divine counterpart card, twin flame, high level soulmate, take it as it resonates. And then we've got door to spirit, and there is something with this person and your ability to really access some of these other forms of guidance. And when you really continue to do this inner work and connect, you find your counterpart there. So it's kind of this like, yeah, it's the energy of like when you walk this soul led path and then you find who it is in your heart, it's your divine counterpart. And they also have the ability to help you really connect with spirit in deeper ways. And then there's something with you helping this person as well, like energetically, what you bring to the table helps them to connect even deeper. Okay. Let's see if anything else wants to come out. Strategy card keeps coming out. I think it's come out in the past few readings, and contract. So, and okay, second chakra, that's the sacral. The color's orange. It governs sensuality, creativity, and pleasure. Um, so there is definitely that connection with your person. It's a very intensely passionate connection. And what I'm hearing is for some of you, you've never felt passion with anybody else the way you have with this person. And that makes sense because we're talking divine counterparts. All tied up and then contract. If there is something going on with either of you in the physical where you're tied up, maybe you're legally bound to another person, or maybe there's, stuff going on legally or things like that. That's something that you and this person can figure out together. So don't let that deter you if that is what in fact is deterring you from moving forward. And we've got the strategy card, and that's what I'm picking up too, is like you both are going to be able to come up with a strategy that works for both of you in in a very beneficial way. And this might not be something that's illuminated to you until you go for your person, go towards your person. And then we've got the world. And this is talking about either going global. This can talk about speaking your truth online. Um, this can talk about like literally being on stage. And this is also the energy of you both can take on the world together, and there's this balance. There's this very, very beautiful energetic balance where you're each other's match. You balance each other. You like where your shortcomings are, this person balances that and vice versa. So it's really a beautiful energy. It's really, yeah, this is really the energy of like you two coming together is going to help remove just a ton of blocks and resistance and all of these things that you've been facing. And this is on both ends. This is for both of you. So this is awesome. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. If this resonates, you can let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear about it. I'm wishing you all the best on this journey. And again, for what it's worth, I hope you reach out and see where it goes. But, you've got free will. And so that decision is yours. All right. If you like this message, feel free to hit that like button. It does help out the channel. So thank you. And if you would like to see more from me, you can hit subscribe. It is free. And I will see you on the next message. Bye.